Right now at noon, civilians find a woman dead. Waters leading into Grand Lake.
We've got ourselves a sunny afternoon across the area. Clouds will start to increase a little later, and it is going to remain warm. We'll take a look at your forecast coming up.
4 SpaceX astronauts dock at the International Space Station.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities investigate a body found in Buffalo Creek in northeast Oklahoma. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, the Grand River Dam Authority responds to a woman found dead in Delaware County. Early Sunday morning, around 3:45 a.m., civilians discovered a woman in her mid-30s in Buffalo Creek, near where it enters the Elk River. She was found in about 6 to 8 feet of water with one leg on a tree limb. GRDA officers recovered her body and turned it over to the medical examiner's office for processing. Well, experts are crisscrossing Kansas, evaluating the Sunflower State's wheat crop. So far, reports show the crop is not looking good. Alex Juergens spoke with participants in this year's Kansas Wheat Tour to find out just how bad the crop is and what some farmers are doing to weather through this difficult time.
This week, the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers is touring through various farm fields, much like this one just outside Wichita, to check on this year's crop progress as part of this year's Kansas Wheat Tour. And as it stands right now, it appears that this year's crop is in not that good of shape. Crews with backgrounds in milling, baking, food processing, and trading are walking the fields around Kansas, getting a look at the state's most well-known crop. Some of them seeing a wheat field for the first time. Clay Shem has been traveling with the group. He's a farmer in Wallace and Morris counties. Crews are finding that this year's crop is in poor or very poor condition.
We haven't quite ran the numbers yet on our average yield, but I'm expecting it to be lower than it was last year and with a lot more abandoned acres along with it.
While rainfall has helped get the wheat to grow, Shem says for the crop to still be salvageable around the state is to add yield through bigger kernels and for more rain.
That does not add a ton of weight to, we'll have good test weights, we'll have good quality. On the side of that, we could see protein go down, so that ruins quality, but we could see good test weights if we keep that rain and that wheat finishes up.
Kansas farmer editor Jennifer Latsky says in Kearney County, a crop insurance agent said out of 40,000 acres planted, about 60% has already been zeroed. With more claims to process, that number could jump to 80%. Well, KOAM is teaming up with community partners to help make sure American flags are properly disposed of and get new ones into your hands. We're hosting a flag swap tomorrow from 11 until 2 at the Jake's Fireworks building, and we will be live there at noon. That address is 3002 North Broadway in Pittsburgh. All you have to do is bring your old, tattered American flag to get a brand new American-made flag for free. The American Legion is assisting in properly retiring those traded-in flags, and this is just the first flag swap we're hosting this year. More dates and locations will be announced. All right, well, we started off with a chilly morning, but now it's starting to warm up. Let's go to Chris with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, temperatures are right on track for what we were expecting by this time today. They were looking good. Temperatures now into the low 70s. And you're right, it was a very chilly morning across the area this morning. Temps starting out in the mid 50s, even some upper 40s out there. But nothing like that right now. Take a look at our camera, rather, at 7th and Range Line. We've got some of those clouds, and as mentioned, they're going to increase as we go through the afternoon. Can't see many clouds from the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line. Just some plentiful sunshine out there, and still quite sunny from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, just south of Pittsburgh. Yesterday, started out at 49. Not right where we should be, but we made it up to 75, so even after some cold starts, we are making it somewhat close to normal, but the good news is we're not quite near the record levels yet either. Taking a look at temperatures around the area, as mentioned, out west, getting warmer a little faster. 76s in Yates Center, Neodesha, and Chanute, 75 in Parsons, 74 Oswego, Miami, 72 Neosho, 73 Carthage, and 74 in Lamar and Pittsburgh. We got a pretty nice day for us today, which is already obvious if you go outside, which don't do because the news is on. You can do so immediately following the news at noon. Temperatures are going to continue to warm through the week, and we still have a few storm chances later this week. A few isolated showers out there. We'll talk more about those shower chances and just how warm it's going to get here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. In Nation Watch, President Biden is set to meet with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy today to continue talks on raising the debt ceiling before America defaults on the debt. Face-to-face talks are necessary after negotiations between staffers over the weekend went nowhere. Congress must agree to a deal and pass it before June 1st. If that does not happen, economists say the country will almost assuredly dive into a recession. 4 astronauts have docked at the International Space Station after their SpaceX rocket lifted off last night. The Axiom 2 flight is the second ever private mission to the orbiting lab. It's also the first mission in 38 years for Saudi Arabia's space program. Mark Strassman has more on the launch.
And liftoff, Falcon 9, go Axiom.
Sunday's liftoff, picture perfect. Only the second time a commercial mission has launched for the International Space Station.
A great view of Falcon 9 heading to space.
3 space rookies and their commander, a former NASA pioneer.
This is the Japanese module. Watch your head as we come in.
Once again, Peggy Whitson is shooting high, heading back to space at age 63.
It was a home away from home for me, and I really want to experience it again and let it engulf me.
This time, commanding a commercial mission to the space station. Her Axiom 2 crew includes 2 Saudi government astronauts, including the first Saudi woman in space, and John Schaffner, a 67-year-old Knoxville entrepreneur, pilot, and lifelong adventurer.
Is it what you expected?
No, it never is.
Whitson and Schaffner walked us through the ISS training mock-up at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, then talked about his first trip to space.
When did the space bug first bite you?
My earliest recollection is 1963, and it never left.
Axiom 2's crew will fly aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon to the ISS. Total time aboard, 8 days. Price tag, unknown, but Schaffner's paying his own way, presumably in the millions. But Whitson and Schaffner agree. This is more than a rich guy's space junket. This new space era is redefining the right stuff.
You do need that sense of, I want to explore, I want to try something new. It's helpful to have an objective. I think that will build the strongest group of people in space.
This crew will do a lot more than take selfies and look down on Earth. They'll perform more than 20 experiments, including microgravity's effect on stem cell research. Mark Strassman, CBS News, at the Kennedy Space Center.
That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, we take you around the world to look at what's becoming a biodiversity crisis. And we're making crispy honey mustard wings in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. It is International Biodiversity Day, and conservationists are calling for action to protect the planet for generations to come. CBS's Tina Kraus reports.
Scientists say these sounds of nature are increasingly under threat as the planet's creatures watch their habitats being destroyed by pollution, deforestation, oil and gas production, and urban development.
We're doing very badly at protecting our biodiversity. We better change our ways, or else we're going to be in big trouble.
Climate experts say the world is seeing a dangerous decline in nature, with 1 million species now threatened with extinction and water sources drying up across the globe. And the trouble isn't just on land. Overfishing is wiping out sea life. At the COP15 Biodiversity Summit 5 months ago, nearly 200 nations agreed to protect at least 30% of the planet's land and water by 2030. On this International Biodiversity Day, conservationists want to make sure those promises are kept. They're urging people to find ways to repair damaged habitats, like planting shrubs along shorelines to protect wildlife and reduce erosion.
I think that there's already a revolution, especially in the younger people. that, aren't willing to take it anymore.
The United Nations is calling for collective action around the world to help ensure a prosperous planet for all species. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
The Biden administration last year launched a $1 billion program named the America the Beautiful Challenge to speed up locally led conservation and restoration projects. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon.
Ever wonder what happens to all the food we make here in the test kitchen? We'll fill you in and share a recipe for a dish that's so good, it disappeared in seconds.
But first, we've got ourselves a very beautiful day today, and not too bad day tomorrow, and some isolated shower chances this week. We'll talk about all of that in your full forecast when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we've had a pretty beautiful day across the area and all of this good weather just in time. See, the wife's watching the KOAM News at Noon right now, and our anniversary's tomorrow. Since she is watching, and I won't be here tomorrow, I want to say happy anniversary to her. So I know it's been a long and bumpy ride, but this forecast, not so long and bumpy for us. Take a look at the skies right now here at 7th and Rangeline, looking pretty good so far. A few clouds out there. Some clouds even on the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Rangeline, because you see it's a little darker than what it was. And as we take a look at the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, sunshine up there with these partly cloudy skies. And there are those partly cloudy skies. Sitting at 73 in Joplin right now, south breeze at 7 miles an hour. And as we head up to Pittsburgh, 73 and sunny with an east breeze at 8 miles an hour. And temperatures around the region: 74 Fort Scott, 76 Chanute, Neodesha, Yates Center, 74 Independence, Chatopa, Miami, and 72 in Neosho. As we get our day started, we're looking pretty good. 76 our expected high. Again, out west, some of us making it a little warmer than that. Clouds will continue to increase, though, as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours, and we're going to be back and forth between partly and mostly cloudy skies as we head into the overnight. Still a little bit on the chilly side for our overnight low tonight, as we're going to drop back down once again into the mid-50s across the area. As we head into tomorrow, we can take a look and see temperatures tomorrow looking much better as we begin to warm to near 80 degrees around the area with those partly cloudy skies. And that's ahead of some changes that are on the way, which includes rain chances as we head into the middle of this week. So we go through time, we head into tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, maybe a stray shower or two. Most of us dry. It's going to be as we head overnight and into Wednesday morning, where we'll see a few stray showers, maybe a rumble of thunder out there. Now, even with the rain chances and the cloud cover, we're still going to warm up quite nicely as we make it back into the lower 80s even on Wednesday. And a reminder, this is not saying rain is all over this area. This is saying rain could occur in this area. And again, these showers, unfortunately, because I know we need that rain, and be very isolated out there to maybe widely scattered at best. They pause as we head into the evening Wednesday. They return to us Thursday evening, afternoon and evening. We start to see a few more scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder out there, this time onto the western side of the viewing area, and then those will clear out, and we'll once again kind of see this cycle repeat as we head even into the weekend. Tomorrow kicks off low 80s. We hold on to the low 80s all the way through Friday. Wednesday, kicking off those isolated storm chances even into the weekend. As we head into the weekend, temperatures begin to drop just a little bit. We get back into the mid to upper 70s. So again, they drop a little bit. And then as we head into the start of next week, we begin with some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances. And then those will clear out and we get back into the lower 80s. So this forecast is very quick, very straightforward for us as we head into the week ahead. And unfortunately, again, with these rain chances, at least right now, they're looking to be very isolated to widely scattered at best. But there is some good news. These aren't going to be the only rain chances, obviously, for the rest of the summer. And some of the longer range models are suggesting that we're going to be slightly above average for our precipitation this summer. Unfortunately, they're also suggesting we might be a little bit warmer than average as well. But you know what? I will take those warmer temperatures if it means we can get more of that much needed rain. I know we also need a pause. Church on Sunday, spoke with some farmers. They're needing a brief pause so they can kind of catch up on some things out in the fields. And thankfully, we're getting that just long enough for them to catch up. And then they can get back to work out there because, boy, that drought situation minute improvements, but any improvement's better than none, and any rain we can get is better than none.
How about it rain during the week and then give us a break on the weekends?
That would be great, like what we saw this past weekend. You know, we had that rain, good rain on Friday, break on the weekend. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, it looks like we got 2 more days to get those yards mowed.
Just 2 more days.
We got it done. All right, thanks, Chris. We'll stick around. We're making crispy honey mustard wings after the break. Well, today's dish will disappear as fast as you can set it out. Howard shows us how to make his crispy honey mustard wings in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Ever wonder what happens to all the food we make here in the Test Kitchen? It's a great question. After each dish is made, it's taste tested by the whole team. If it earns the "ooh, it's so good" approval, we put it out for lunch. And when a dish is really awesome, like the honey mustard wings we're making today, it disappears in no time. To make them, all we do is toss a good amount of chicken wings, and they can be fresh or frozen, with some oil and a bit of salt and pepper. We lay them on a rim baking sheet and into the oven they go. While they cook, we combine some honey, yellow mustard, mayonnaise, dried onion flakes, and a good amount of minced garlic. Once the wings are tender, we toss them with our to-die-for honey mustard mixture, and back into the oven they go. That's all there is to it. I think what makes these so addictive, aside from the amazing homemade sauce, is that they're really tender and juicy. That's because they're baked rather than fried. To get the recipe for our crispy honey mustard wings, all you have to do is go online. You know, these really are amazing. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a finger-licking way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
Those do look good. And you can find, here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
Mid to upper 70s today, clouds increasing this evening and overnight. Partly cloudy tomorrow, warmer low 80s through Friday. Isolated shower and thunderstorm chances all the way through the weekend. Temperatures drop back a very small amount into the mid to upper 70s by the upcoming weekend.
All right. Good. A lot of chances of rain in there.
Yeah, we
All
could
right.
use some more.
What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, it's Stroke Awareness Month, and a new campaign is raising awareness so people recognize the symptoms and get treatment right away. That's in Health Watch. Plus, Pittsburgh firefighters continue to improve their skills with training to rescue victims in confined spaces. And the preservation of a 60-year-old mural at Crowder College is complete. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.